What's up, everybody? And what's up, Alex Sports Show fam? And welcome to another episode of the Alex Sports Show with me, Alec Pecano, on Thursday, December 28th, 2023. Today's show, I will have an NFL mock draft for you, along with my updated top 5 transfer portal quarterbacks and preview some bowl games and the teams I like to win the bowl games today. If you didn't see all my bowl game picks, I had a whole show on that before bowl season started. You go back through the playlist and you can look up the bowl games. But let's get to the mock draft. So the Bears with number 1. I see, like I say multiple times, I can see multiple avenues here. They take a quarterback or they don't. Let me make sure everything's working first of all. Hello? We are making sure all the audio works. Okay, good. It does. Now we can put this back up. So with the number 1 pick, I don't think if the Bears win their last 2 games, there is no way they trade Justin Fields and get rid of Matt Eberflus. I think they. Oh, let me start the mock. Makes sense. I think with the number 1 pick, the Bears take Marvin Harrison Jr. At number 2, the Cardinals take Joe Alt. They need offensive line help. And I think Joe Alt fits perfectly in an offensive line in Arizona. The Commanders at 3, they take Alu Fashanu. Patriots at 4 will take Caleb Williams out of USC. They need a quarterback. They do see that Drake May is still on the board and they might take him. But in this scenario, I have them taking Caleb Williams. The Giants at 5. Now, I can see it an avenue where they do take QB, but I think here they end up taking Malik Neighbors, wide receiver out of LSU. They got to give Daniel Jones some weapons. They don't have a bona fide number 1 wide receiver. And I think Malik Neighbors can turn into a number 1 wide receiver. The Chargers. This is the easiest pick for me. What are they at? Number 7. The Chargers at 7. They need tight end. They need playmakers for Justin Herbert and whoever the new coach and offensive coordinator and GM are going to be. And I think Brock Bowers, I know people are going to say this is a little too rich here at 6 for the Chargers to take tight end, which I'm going to pivot actually. I had them taking Brock Bowers originally, but I think they will take Ooh, okay. I think they take offensive lineman Thais Fawanga here at number 6. They do need offensive linemen. Rashawn Slater is one of the best tackles in the NFL. They need somebody on the other side. Trey Pipkins is just not, he's not cutting it. The Titans at 7. They're going to take my O lineman 3. That would be J.C. Latham. I think they definitely need offensive line, and I can see them taking offensive line here and J.C. Latham out of Alabama. The Bears at 8. I have them take it. Oh, they already took a wide receiver. It's too high. I'm going to have them taking. Actually, no, that's not too high. I have them taking DB Kool-Aid McKinstry out of Alabama. At number 9, the Jets. This is where I have the Jets need offensive line and wide receiver. Those are my top 2 needs for the Jets. I think the Jets take Keon Coleman out of Florida State. They need another wide receiver to pair with Mr. Garrett Wilson. And I think that is Keon Coleman. At number 10, the Falcons. This is where Drake May ends up going. I think the Falcons take Drake May at 10. They say, oh, he's fallen too far. We could have traded up into the top 10, 8, the top 5 for him, but we didn't. We stuck at 10, and we ended up getting our guy. Saints at 11. This is where I have my first edge player going, and it is not Latu Latu. It will be Dallas Turner out of Alabama. I like the intangibles Dallas Turner brings. He can bring pressure off the edge. Carl Granderson's around for the next 5 years, but they need somebody else. They need to get younger on the defensive line at the end spots. And I think Dallas Turner fits perfect. The Packers. They are going to take my CB number 2, Nate Wiggins. They need, and I don't think this is a reach at all because it says he's supposed to go at 15, and they want to get him before Denver does. And I really like Nate Wiggins. I think the Packers take Nate Wiggins here at 12. The Raiders at 13. You know what? I'm going to have them taking D lineman Jerzon Newton out of Illinois. Depending on who the new head coach and GM is, which I honestly think the new coach should be I think Antonio Pierce. If the Raiders make the playoffs, I think the Raiders should take the interim tag off of Antonio Pierce and let him be the head coach. And I think here at 13, they take Jerzon Newton. They need to beef up that defensive line. Max Crosby's really good on one side. Tyree Wilson, we don't know. We don't know that much about him yet because he's only in his 2nd year. But if you get somebody that we know can consistently get pressure on the quarterback, I would feel really good with this pick for the Raiders. The Broncos at 14. Now, they might be moving on from Russell Wilson, but if they do, it's not going to be till after June 1st, which means that would be The draft would be over, and maybe they roll with Jarrett Stidham next year. I don't know. They need help in the secondary. And it's starting to grow on me that Terrion Arnold's probably going to be a first-round pick. And this is where the Broncos need somebody on the other side. You have Patrick Surtain as one outside cornerback, one perimeter corner. Jaquin McMillan is a slot cornerback. He's a slot guy / nickel corner. He is not a perimeter outside cornerback, CB2. I think the Broncos here take Terrion Arnold at number 14. The Vikings at 15 take. This is where you run on DB's starts. Cooper DeJean out of. No. The Vikings. This is where Latu goes. The Vikings need help on the defensive line, and I think Latu would fit wonderfully with the Vikings. The Cardinals at 16 are going to take wide receiver Rome Odunze out of Washington. Hollywood Brown's a good slot wide receiver. He is not a guy that you could throw a 50-50 ball up to outside. I think Odunze would be the perfect addition to that wide receiver room in Arizona. And also you got Michael Wilson, who is a rookie this year, which you don't, like I said, you don't know much about him. The Steelers. This is where you have a little run on wide receiver. You get 3 wide receivers to go in a row. And this one is going to be, who do I want? I think Ibuka's going to go back to Ohio State. I'm going to have a surprising pick here. The Steelers are going to take, I think the Steelers take Xavier Leggett, wide receiver, out of South Carolina. T. Higgins is proving that he can be a number 1 receiver right now with Jamar Chase out injured. And I don't think the Bengals can afford to pay both Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So they're going to lose one. They're going to lose either Higgins this year or Jamar Chase when his deal is up. And I think they take the risk here. And they take Xavier Leggett in the first round to replace T. Higgins. The Bengals. Oh, correction. That was the Steelers. I completely messed up. The Steelers are going to take a wide receiver because I don't think Deontay Johnson's coming. Now we get to the Bengals. And the Bengals here at 18 are going to take a wide receiver. Like I said, this guy has grown on me. I think he's another guy that's a first-round pick. Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. And again, I apologize for the little blunder I made on the Steelers. I meant to give Leggett to the Bengals, but we pivot now, and Brian Thomas Jr. is the pick here for the Bengals. The Buccaneers. Normally here, I'd have them going wide receiver, but they do need help on defense. And they are going to lose either Jamel Dean or maybe Carlton Davis in free agency, or maybe Antoine Winfield, which I don't think they'll lose Antoine Winfield. But let's say, for example, they lose one of those 3 guys. And what are they secondary? And Cooper DeJean is on the board. And they need athletic, versatile, young guys on defense. And I believe Cooper DeJean should be the pick here for the Buccaneers. The Colts at 20. They need quarterback help, and I think they take Kamari Less. No, not Kamari Lassiter. I think they take Keelan King out of State because they need DBs. The Seahawks. I don't know what to give the Seahawks. I do. I'm going to give them defensive end. They need help on defense. They need edge help. And Jared Verse is still somehow sitting here on the board. And I think they take Jared Verse. Shocker, I have another wide receiver going in the first round. And this is a surprising one. I haven't mocked this guy in the first round yet, but I think he could slip into the first round. That would be Troy Franklin out of Oregon. I think Troy Franklin can be a first-round pick, and the Jags need wide receiver. I don't know if they're going to bring back Calvin Ridley because he's going to be a free agent in the offseason. So I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a wide receiver. The Rams. Let's give them. Okay, so they need. I don't really know what the Rams need. I mean, I would have said running back, but there's no running backs that are going to go in the first round, obviously. I mean, I guess I could get actually. I will give them offensive lineman Amarius Mims out of Georgia. They need to get younger along that offensive line. They have a few guys that are getting up there in age. Rob Havenstein is one. So I think they take an offensive lineman here at number 23. Buffalo at number 24. They will take. I have started mocking and putting this guy in the first round lately. Cornerback Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. I think Mitchell is a first-round pick. I think he slips into the middle of the back end of the first round here. And what does Buffalo need the most? Corner. Kyrie Elam has been hit or miss. Christian Benford has been serviceable. But they've had to play guys that were on the practice squad. I think they take Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. Kansas City, what do they need? Shocker. I have another wide receiver going in the first round here. And that would be another shocker for a guy that I'm going in the first round. It's another guy, Xavier. I think they take the Chiefs here, take Xavier Worthy out of Texas. The Cowboys. They need offensive line. And I think they're going to take Jordan Morgan out of Arizona. Tyron Smith isn't getting any younger, for one, and he might retire. Tyler Smith he's okay where he's at right now, but I don't know if he can hold up. So that is why Jordan Morgan is the pick here at 26. 27. We are going to have the... Ooh, okay. Okay. We are going to have the... We are going to have the Texans take cornerback Ennis Rakestraw Jr. out of Missouri. They need a DB on opposite of Derek Stingley Jr. And I think Ennis Rakestraw is a first-round pick. So I think he will be taken in the first round. Lions here. They need still got Kamari Lassiter. I think they're going to take defensive linemen. No, they take edge Chop Robinson out of Penn State. I think Chop Robinson is a first-round pick. I think the only reason he's going to slip to maybe this range is due to the fact that he had minimal production at Penn State while he was there. The shocker, it's not a wide receiver that I have the Dolphins taking. It is offensive line. And it'll be Troy Fautanu out of Washington. I think Fatanu's another guy that can grade out really well and go at the end of the first round. And I think he will be a first-round pick. And the Dolphins do need some offensive line help because as we've said, Teron Armstead cannot stay healthy. He's consistently injured, for one. And two, Austin Jackson was just re-signed. Do they re-sign Robert Hunt? If they don't, then they're definitely going to need an offensive lineman, and I think that is Troy Fautanu. The Eagles, what do the Eagles like to do? They like to take guys for the future. And we don't know how much longer Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, all of them have. I have them taking edge rusher Braylon Trice out of Washington. The Niners at number 31. They will take offensive lineman Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. Another team that needs offensive line. And I think they take him here. And then the Ravens, the last pick of the first round. Shocker, another wide receiver. Yes, I'm going a little bit down the board. I know he's projected to go probably second or third round. But I think if he tests out really well, Jalen Polk can be a first-round pick. So I like the Ravens to take yet another wide receiver. They took Zay Flowers last year, and look what Zay Flowers has done. He has been really good for them. I like them to take Jalen Polk out of Washington here. We're going to stop sharing. Go back. And now, what is it? Transfer portal quarterback time. So here are my top 5 transfer portal quarterbacks right now. At number 5, I've got Chuba Purdy. And if that Purdy last name sounds familiar, that is the brother of current 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy. That is his younger brother. Here's my top 3 landing spots for Chuba Purdy. Number 3, Tulsa. If you didn't see, Tulsa just lost Braylon Braxton to Marshall. Braylon Braxton transferred to Marshall. And I think if Chuba wants a chance to be a starter, that he should maybe go the group of 5 route and go to Tulsa. Because they do need quarterback. Number 2, Minnesota. Minnesota's had 2 quarterbacks hop in the portal, and he can stay in the Big Ten West. Well, he can stay. The divisions in the Big Ten are going away. But he can stay in the Big Ten and just go from Lincoln, Nebraska to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Or number 1, and this team really needs a quarterback, Miami of Ohio. We don't know what's going on with Brett Gabbert. He missed the back half of the season with injury, and then the starting quarterback, the number 2 quarterback, Avian Smith, entered the portal again. He entered last year and then withdrew his name and went back to Miami. And then he started once Gabbert got hurt, but now he's in the portal again. So Miami needs QB, and I think they might go after Chuba Purdy. At number 4, KJ Jefferson. He's in the portal right now. He was at Arkansas last year. And again, I would like y'all, if you're enjoying the video, please leave a thumbs up. Let's try to get this to 10 likes. And also leave a comment down below of where you think these guys should transfer to. Back to the transfer portal quarterbacks. Number 4, KJ Jefferson, Arkansas. Here's the 3 schools I think he could transfer to. Number 3, Florida State. They had Jordan Travis is going pro. Tate Rodemaker is in the portal. AJ Duffy's in the portal. So they need a quarterback next year. And I think they go out and they offer KJ Jefferson a lot of NIL money to come and be the quarterback at Florida State. Number 2, Michigan State. These next 2 teams for KJ Jefferson are both Big Ten schools. So number 2, Michigan State. They just got Aiden Childs, but he hasn't started a game. So I think they go out there a more experienced quarterback, and that would be KJ Jefferson. I would like to see KJ Jefferson go somewhere where he maybe could start and increase his draft value stock for next year's draft. And number 1, Iowa. Iowa tried the transfer portal quarterback route last year with K. McNamara, and it worked for a little bit, but then it blew up. K. McNamara got hurt. Then they had Spencer Petras. Then they had somebody else. So I think they go after KJ Jefferson. Number 3, James Madison quarterback Jordan McLeod. Here's the thing with Jordan McLeod is this is the second or third time he's been in the portal. He went to USF. He signed with USF out of high school. Went there for, I think it was 1 or 2 years. Then he was at Arizona State. Didn't really do anything there. Then he went and transferred to James Madison. And he was very productive in his couple of years at James Madison. But here's the 3 schools I think he goes to. Number 3, and this is the obvious one, Indiana. He can follow his head coach, Kirk Cignetti, to Indiana and probably get named the starting quarterback would then get in there with him already having continuity with Cignetti from their time at James Madison. Number 2, Miami, Florida. They lost Tyler Van Dyke in the portal. He transferred to Wisconsin. So now, Miami, Florida is looking for a quarterback. And I think they can find it in Jordan McLeod. And number 1, Michigan. And this is only if J.J. McCarthy leaves. If McCarthy stays, McLeod maybe goes somewhere else. In the portal, somebody else gives him a lot of money to come and be the quarterback for a year so he can boost up his draft stock. My number 2 transfer quarterback, Bryson Barnes, Utah. So, 2 of the 3 schools are new. The last one that I'll talk about at the end is not. So, number 3, Indiana. Like I said about McLeod, Bryson Barnes could go to Indiana and be a starter there maybe. Because they don't. Sorsby's in the portal. I think Taven Jackson is still there, but he is not capable of being a starter. And I don't know how many. I think he has 2 or 3 years. 2 years of eligibility left. So I don't see an avenue where Taven Jackson is a starter if Indiana ends up getting a transfer quarterback. Number 2, Maryland. Talia Tagovailoa is going pro. And what has Mike Locksley been good at the last couple of years? Developing QBs. Look at Talia over the last 2 seasons. He wouldn't have been that good if he stayed at Bama because he would have probably still been sitting on the bench. So I think if Bryson Barnes goes to Maryland, he will be the starter. And number 1, yes, it's dumb, but I feel like it may be the right thing to do for Mr. Barnes. Go back and return to Utah and see if you can win the starting job at Utah. Because you were just there last year and you got to start you started week 1. You started 3 or 4 games last year for Utah. And I think if you go back, you could be the starting quarterback next season. And number 1, and this one's kind of obvious. This should be number 1 for everyone. Cameron Ward, Washington State. Now, my list is a little bit different with Cameron Ward than everybody else's. Number 3 for me, Miami of Florida. You've heard me say them twice. No, you've heard me say them one other time. You heard me say them for Jordan McLeod. And now I'm saying it here for Cameron Ward. I think Cam Ward would do wonderfully in the Miami offense. And I like Cameron Ward a lot. And I think he would do good. Number 2, Michigan. Same thing I said about Jordan McLeod. I can see Cam Ward doing the same thing. I can see him going to Michigan only if J.J. McCarthy does go pro. And then number 1, UCLA. I don't expect Chase Garbers to not be the starter next year, but you never know. Chip Kelly could bring in a transfer quarterback. And why wouldn't you want to bring in Cameron Ward? It is Westwood. It is California. Beautiful state. I'm not going to talk about politics on here. We're leaving that off. I do think Cameron Ward would fit amazing in that offense. And now, the last order of business today. college football bowl games today. So we got Boston College, SMU. Like I said, if you've already seen my bowl game picks, don't mind watching this video. I think Boston College, I have Boston College winning, but something tells me going to. So I am going to take the points in SMU. Rutgers, Miami. I like Rutgers in this game. They're a 2-point favorite. And I think Rutgers does win. Kansas State, North Carolina State. KSU is a 2-point favorite. I think they win this game by landslide. And then you've got Arizona and Oklahoma. And Arizona is a 2-point favorite. But if you've seen my bowl game picks, I have flipped this. I think Arizona ends up winning, but I have the upset. I have Oklahoma minus 2.5 to upset. To upset Arizona. And now let's get over to Hard Rock Bet, because I'm going to give you some bets that I like for today. Okay, so I need to give me 2 seconds. I'm going to give you bets, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you bets and how much I would pay up for them. So you see here, I would take SMU minus 12.5, and I would put that bet. We're going to do a parlay here. So it is SMU minus 12.5, Rutgers minus 2.5, and Kansas State minus 2.5, and Arizona plus 2.5. And that's a parlay that I would put $10 down on. No, let's see. Let's go $5. I'd put $5 down on it, and you got a chance to win 65. Is it not? Hold up. Y'all didn't even see it. So what I did, this is a parlay. You've got SMU minus 12.5, Rutgers minus 2.5, K-State minus 2.5, and Arizona minus 2.5. And I would put $5 down on that bet, and with the chance to win $63. And that is the bet, the parlay I would place on that game. On those four. So that is K-State minus 2.5, Arizona minus 2.5, Rutgers minus 2.5, and 12 SMU minus 12.5. So that's a 4-leg parlay that I would do. Sharing. And ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for today's stream. I will see y'all back here tomorrow afternoon for another episode of the Alex Sports Show. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more exciting content coming in 2024. And don't forget to leave a comment. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss an upload. And also, please, if you would feel generous enough, please purchase a membership. They are relatively cheap. The most expensive membership I have is $14.99. The least expensive one is 99 cents a month. And that will do it for the show today. I'm signing off. I will see y'all tomorrow afternoon at 12 o'clock for college basketball upset picks and another NFL mock draft, this time with trades. But I'll see y'all when I see y'all tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.